Yeah, Minister, are you aware of how frustrated and annoyed teachers and parents are about the lack of clarity on reopening of schools in September? Because I think you need to be. Something every primary school kid knows or learns very quickly is that you cannot put a square peg into a round hole. But it seems that the Minister and the government think you can and are determined to try and put a square peg into a round hole. And the square peg in this instance is your determination to reopen schools as normal, and the round hole are the most overcrowded classes in Europe, the most underfunded education system in Europe pre-COVID, and then on top of that, the requirement for social distancing. One does not fit into the other, and everybody knows that that is the case. The round hole becomes even less able to take the square peg when, in the framework document that you produced on June the 12th, you categorically rule out the thing that could resolve this conundrum by saying it is also not feasible to consider the wholesale splitting of classes and recruiting extra teachers, given that there are significant teacher supply issues currently. You see, if that's the position, we're banjaxed. And you can insist that you're going to put the square peg into the round hole, but it cannot be done. And it doesn't matter whether you talk about pods or bubbles, because as one teacher put it, we already have pods and bubbles. They are called classes. To give you an idea of what those classes look like, in one DESH school, a teacher, who I won't name, described, this is a DESH Band 2 school, where she has 30 children in the class, in 6th class, 30 in a DESH Band 2 school, and she says pretty much all of the kids in that class are taller than her. Now, how are you going to turn them into bubbles and pods? How are you going to do the social distancing? How are you going to do the isolation if somebody has to be isolated because they have symptoms? Where are you going to put them? Who's going to look after them in the room that they're isolated in? Right? It doesn't work. Okay? Unless we have a wholesale recruitment, the thing you are ruling out, of lots and lots of teachers, and massively expand the capacity of our system and put the funding and resources in necessary. And recruit lots of cleaners to be able to do the sanitation and the cleaning of the classrooms that will be necessary in order to try and manage this. Now, even in the best case scenario, this is difficult, I know, Minister. But you seem to be insisting that the one thing that could possibly at least point the way to resolving this conundrum, you're not doing. Now, I put it to you, Minister, this can't work, it won't work. It's reliant on sort of blind optimism about what you hope might happen in September, and even then, is it compliant with, for example, what NEFIT and the Expert Advisory Group are saying about social distancing? It can't be. I don't see how it can be, unless they're saying no social distancing is necessary in schools. So can you please resolve that conundrum? And I put it to you, what's necessary, Minister, is a call for Ireland, but a better one than we did for the health workers. Right? We need a call for Ireland to appeal for people who are qualified and for cleaners and so on, who will be offered jobs, proper jobs, paid jobs in education, in order to give us the smaller class sizes where the bubbles and the pods are possible. More cleaners. Recruit all the school secretaries. Are they supposed to be expected to sign on the dole again this summer after doing all the work they've done over the last while? And by the way, could we treat the SNAs with a little bit of respect and pay them properly as well, because they are very angry about the way they've been treated?
Thanks, Deputy. Deputy Paul.